Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Khairul Isman bin Abdul Rahman, and I representing for my group to make a simulation from PLC 8 by PC 8. So, as we can see here is the main OB. From the main OB, we must insert our function block to here, because when we're running the simulation, the function block is automatically running based on the main OB. Okay, so right now we start the simulation. So what I want to show is when I press the start button, the system will be turned on. Like I show here, when I press start button, the system will be turned on. And if I press the stop button, the system will be completely off. Okay, so I press the start button, the system will be on. And next, we move to the Win operation. So here we can see this is our speed sensor, and this is output from speed sensor, and we set percentage from 0 to 100 to 100, and the output is will be actual win, or we call it win percentage. So right now I want to show you when I modify the value of speed sensor, so how much percent that actual will be. So let's say I put 20,000 for speed sensor, and here we can see the actual win or percentage win around 68%, and we set to the max, we can get 100%. So it's same like solar operation. Solar operation use the same diagram, but just different value of speed sensor, minimum and maximum. So let's say I modify the speed sensor, so we can see the how much percentage that will be. So right now I set the solar sensor around 26,000, and I get around 63% for actual solar. So let's go to the fail-safe condition. Like I said before, the fail-safe condition is used to make sure when both source below than 5%, and the timer will be countdown 10 seconds, and it trigger indicator lamp. Right now we can see when I set both source is 0, the indicator lamp will be turned on, and it will be blinking. So let's move to the distance or hysteresis. Hysteresis is used to prevent a rapid change from solar energy and wind energy. So right now, let's say I turn on hysteresis 3%. Okay, we can see hysteresis 3% will be triggered and the rest doesn't make any change. It also, when I take hysteresis 5%, this diagram will be turned on and the rest other doesn't make any change. It's same like 4% too. You can see here hysteresis 4 is triggered and the rest doesn't make any change. Okay, let's say I set for 4%. So we move to the next function block is comparator. Comparator is used to get the actual value to make sure comparator is combined from actual solar or wind energy plus with hysteresis range. So before this I set the hysteresis range around 4%, and then here for this one is when the actual solar is more than wind plus hysteresis, the relay one will be turned on, and it same goes to the actual wind. Is actual wind is more than solar plus distance or hysteresis range, the relay 2 will be triggered. So right now, let's say I set the solar irradiation sensor around 10,000, and for wind speed sensor around this one. So we can see here the both relay not turned on because the value is not more than each other. So we can see here for wind distance is 41 and solar distance is 40, so it doesn't make any change. But if I increase wind sensor a little bit, so we can see here is when actual wind or percentage wind more than solar plus distance, the relay 2 will be triggered. So we can see here if the relay 2 trigger, the battery charging will use wind energy to charge the battery. But if the solar is more than wind sensor, the solar is more than wind energy, so it will use solar as primary energy to charge the battery. Let's say here I set 15,000 for solar sensor, and we can see here actual solar or percentage solar is more than wind plus distance, so the relay 1 will be turned on. And we can see here the battery charging is it use solar as the primary energy to charge the battery. So what happen if both source is minimum? Alright, so when both source is minimum or below than 5%, the relay 3 will be turned on and discharge the battery. So we can see here when I set 0 or below than 5%, So we can see here the relay tree will be turned on, and also timer will be count down until 10 seconds and trigger the indicator alarm. So we can see here the battery charging, the boost source is not turned on, and the relay tree will be turned on and discharge the battery. Exam goes to if I set hysteresis for 5% and 3%. It also will be like I show before. So that's all from our group.